Welcome to the today's topic. Our today's topic is problems related to implementation techniques in data warehouse. So while we are going to implement a data warehouse, what are the techniques are there? But I cannot show you the techniques, but yes, I can tell about the what were the steps to organizing to implementing a enterprise database. So we are taking the enterprise database because of the understanding of the real-time data warehouse. So in the industry, they are actually implementing the high, we can say, recent techniques and other things. So I am taking the enterprise data warehouse. So myself, Priyanka Gupta, I am working as assistant professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering Data Science at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. I am going to cover the topics related to that problem. So we will see what is the data warehouse basics are there for related to the that data warehousing. While we are going to implement a data warehouse, I'll tell you about the what are the components of an enterprise data warehouse can be. While we are going to why we can say industry, why a business model they are going to implement a enterprise data warehouse. So that can be in the form of a small scale, that can be in the form of large scale. Some of the we can say points can be missed in the form of broader view, but yes, all the basic steps that has been followed here. Now, next I'll take the problem related to that, and I'll tell how to build implement an enterprise data warehouse. Let's start. So what is the data warehouse basics here related to the implementation of data warehouse? So there are basically three types of data warehouse exist. First is enterprise data warehouse, that is EDW. Second is operational data store, that is ODS. And third is data mart. So these are the three basically, but in broader view, data lakes and other things are also there, but in basic things we have to go with these three. So that will be the data mart. So first is enterprise data warehouse, second is operational data store, and third is data mart. Now, what is enterprise data warehouse? For the operational data store, we have seen what is the basic terminology of that. Data marts will know that is a small structure, a small form of data warehouse. So what is enterprise data warehouse actually? Enterprise data warehouse EDW is a database, a collection of database that organize or generalize a business information from multiple sources. Multiple sources can be there and applications, and makes it available for the analytics as well as for the we can say structuring purpose to use for the organization, use across the organization. So EDW is basically can be housed into an on-premise server on the, or we can say on the cloud. So these are the two forms can be there to store that particularly enterprise data warehouse. Now, to build a quality enterprise data warehouse, a system will be there, a system of ETL. So ETL is nothing but extract, transform and load the data. So ETL can help the organizations to create and as well as to manage the data for the organizing the all the data at the end of a business model. Now, the data stored in this type of digital data warehouse can be one of the business most valuable asset. So it can be stored into the form of cloud. It can be stored into the form of I have told you on-premise server. So that will be in the form of digital warehouse. So that will be the most important asset, most valuable asset for the company, for the business. So as it represents much of what is known about the business. So what are the things we can learn about the business? We can see about the business. So that will be there. Its employee, its customer, and many more related to that. Now, the organization are likely to be better positioned for the future analysis, future growth, when their data will be organized into the such a systematic and automated fashion. So for that we are going to build a data warehouse. So because here the data will be the systematic, data will be the redundant, data will be the mostly automated fashion. It will be stored onto a one digitalized warehouse. Now even for the business which are going to operate on a relatively small scale, organization and structure, that are extremely important when it comes to building and maintaining an enterprise data warehouse. So the same procedure they also have to do for the small scaled organizations. The all the step will be same. So that will be the extreme important we can say data warehouse. So for to build and maintaining, that will procedure will be same for that. Now, what are the components of a enterprise data warehouses are there? So, a typically enterprise data warehouse that is consisting of data sources. So, first will be the data source. So, what is the data source? So, data source can be the that can be the operational, that can be the transactional system. So, from the ERP, we can say CRM, the financial applications are there. At the other hand, IoT devices, for mobile devices, mobile systems, online systems. So these can be the data sources for the EDW. Second will be the staging area. So there all the data will be staged. That all the data will be staged. So a staging area is nothing that will use for the data aggregation and that as well as the cleaning part of pre-processing part of the data. So that will be the staging part. Third will be the presentation and access space. So here the all the data will be accessible for the analytics and other purposes. So for the analytics, the querying, reporting and sharing, the all the data would be at present will be the presentation and access space. Fourth is a range of data tool. So what are the range of data tools? The data tools that is integrating the some of the tools. So that is that will be available in the form of API, that can be BI softwares, ingestion and ETL tools. So these can be the range of data tools. So these are the four basic building of the enterprise data warehouse. Now we can see here in this figure there are the four stages of that. So data source layer is that here the internal and external data sources will be taken care. Again in the second step we can see here the staging area is there. So all the data transformation, all the cleaning part, all the we can say transformation part will be taken care in the staging area. Next is the data storage layer. So in the data storage layer, all the raw data, summary data and metadata in the form of that will be stored. Again that next data will be there, analytics and BI. So that will be available for the reporting and querying, that will be used for the analytics. So for the analytics, all the report generation tools, OLAP tools, data mining tools, all will be taken care here in this part of the enterprise data warehouse. So this is a sample enterprise data warehouse solution architecture at the terms of real-time enterprise data warehouse. So with respect to what is the basic terminology are related to each of the points. So data source layer is nothing but data from internal to external data sources. The staging area is nothing but that is an intermediate storage area of temporary nature for the data pre-processing, processing under the extract, transform and load ETL process. So ETL consolidates the data from the multiple sources and that is going to transform it and into going to the model the format suitable for the storing the enterprise data warehouse. Now for the cloud-based enterprise data warehouse, if we are implementing enterprise ETL EDW, so for that due to the scalability use ETL, which means that the transformation step is performed after the data loading. So what I have told you in starting, there can be some steps changed, there can be some steps missing, but the same things will be carried for, the basic things will be same. So either that can be taken into the next stage, either it can be taken into the earlier stage. So stages will be same, but it can be missed there into the form of I am telling you about the enterprise data warehouse. So that can be the transformation step can be performed after the data loading into the ETW. Now the data storage layer is there, the centralized storage, that is where the data will be accessible for the analytics purpose. So here the querying and reporting and sharing of the data will be happen. Now analytics and BI. So here the data in the enterprise data warehouse can be queried via the OLAP tools will be there, data mining tool will be there, and reporting and visualization tools will be there. For that we can all the related people, the data analyst, they can have the business analytics person, they can have the view of the analysis of the query. Now, so there are many other 3 of the type of deployment environmental types are there for data warehousing solution. So first is on premises. So there will be the server, a company that is purchasing all required hardware and software to build and deploy on EDW and maintaining it for the further on. So that will come on the on premises. There will be the cloud hosted. So some of the companies is using cloud hosting. So a company that is deploying an enterprise data warehouse in the cloud, eliminating the need for purchase and maintaining the hardware and software. That can be costly, but that will be the most we can say trustable source. So for the future use and for the recent trends, they are using the cloud hosting. One form can be the hybrid. Hybrid can be the company that augments on-premise enterprise data warehouse and cloud hosted. So that both of they can use to build a data warehouse. Now, problem can be there how we are going to make a enterprise data warehouse. So I am telling about the steps. What are the steps we have to take to make a real-time enterprise data warehouse? So first step would be, we as a company, as a data warehouse manager, we have to check. First step is goals elicitation. So in that, the duration for that will be the 3 to 20 days. In the 3 to 20 days, they have to complete the goals. They have to complete the goals elicitation. So discovery of your business objectives, practical to strategic, to be pursued with the data warehouse development project. So in the first step, we will do that. Next, we will do identification and prioritization of the company to be company for the department, for the business users, expectations and needs from the project, from the industry also. So now on the third step, we will see for the goals elicitation, we have to review the company current technological architecture as well as the applications. What are the recent applications are going used? So in the fourth, we have to conduct a preliminary data source analysis, data types and structure, volume and sensitivity of data. So we have to go through with the data testing, data sources testing, and we have to analyze the data. What is the structure of data? What is the volume and how sensitive the data is? In the next, we have to outline the data warehouse scope and then high-level system requirement. So in the first step, for the goals elicitation, we have to do these of the some steps. Next, in the second step, we have to conceptualize the platform selection. So in that, the duration will be the 2 to 15 days. In that, we have to define the desired data warehouse solution feature set. Next, we have to choose the optimal deployment option that can be on-premise, in cloud and hybrid. On that, we have to choose what is the relevant medium can be for us. Next, we have to choose the optimal architectural design approach for to build a data warehouse. So in this second step, we are going to select the data warehouse technology. In that, data warehouse database and ETL and ELT tools will be used, data modeling tools will be used. So taking into account what are the things will be there, number of data sources and data volumes to be loaded into the data warehouse. So data warehouse technology we have to use. On the basis of that, we have to load the number of data sources. Next, in that we have to taken care of data flow to be maintained, to be implemented. Next, data security requirements. So these are the three things we have to taken care for the selecting the data warehouse technology. Next, in the step 3, we have to taken care of the business case and project roadmap. So what is the actual project is there, what is the business purpose is there for that, that will be take more 2 to 15 months, 2 to 15 days, sorry. So that will take a 2 to 15 days for to implement this business case and project roadmap. This is the roadmap. So in that we have to take care of major activity include, that is including the defining the data warehouse development project scope, what is the scope of the project, what is the budget planning of the project, what is the timeline to complete that project. So these things we have to taken care of. Next, we have to schedule a data warehouse designing, development and testing activities. Next, we have to draw up a data warehouse project scope document. So we have to complete this document. Next, we have to complete the data warehouse solution architecture vision document, data warehouse deployment strategy, testing strategy, and as well as the project implementation roadmap. So these are the 5 types of document we have to complete. In this stage, we have to draw. Next, we have to develop a risk management plan. What is the plan for the risk if risk is coming up in this phase? So we have to take care of that roadmap also. What is the plan? Next, we have to estimate the efforts for the data warehouse development project with TCO and ROI. So with the help of TCO and ROI, we have to choose we have to estimate the efforts. Now, next, in the next step, we have to do the system analysis and data warehouse architecture designing. So in that period, in the 15 days, from the 15 days, we have to go with the system design, system analysis of the architecture. So next, what we have to do for that? We have to do the detailed analysis for the each of the data sources. So these are the few points will be there. The data type and structure, we have to find out what is the data model we are using, if we are using any. Data volume generated daily, what is the generated data is there at the daily purpose. What is the degree of data how sensitive the data is, and how we are going to apply a data access approach. So that will be taken care of here. Data quality, missing poor data, possibility of performing the data cleaning in the data source system. That all pre-processing will be taken care here. Next, the identification of if any data is absent, if any data is not there, that is not enough, the quality is not enough to support the business requirement. So we have to check that type of things are here. Frequency of data updates. What is the frequency of data updatation are there? So what is relation to the other data sources? If one data source is related to other data source, that we have to figure out. So these are the few points are there while we are doing the detailed analysis of each of the data sources. Next, we have to design the data cleansing policy. What are the policies here while we are doing the data cleaning? In that, we have to create a data security policy also. The data access policy that will be based on the legal restrictions. If legal restrictions are there, we have to take care of. The data security rules are there. Data encryption policy is there. Policy for data access monitoring is there. Data compliance and data backup strategy is there. So we have to take care of that. These are the few policy related to the data security. Next, we have to design the data model for the data warehouse and as well as for the data marts. If we have created some of the marts, so we have to design the data model here. Next, we have to identify the data objects as an entity, as a attribute that is going to identify the relation between the other entity. So we have to figure out, we have to identify those of the data objects or attributes here. Next, we have to map the data objects into the data warehouse. Now the mapping, the hierarchy will be followed here. Next, we have to design the ETL and ELT processes for data integration as well as the data flow control. So these are the few things will be taken care of in this step. Next, in the fifth step, development and stabilization will be taken care of. So that the duration will be there for this to complete this project is the from the second month of the starting of the project, we will follow the development and stabilization. In that, we have to check the data warehouse platform customization. Next, we have to configure the data security software and implementing the data security policy. So what are the policy are there? Applying data security policy to the data at the row, at the column, etc. At the level, what are the developing custom security procedure are there? So we have to taken care of here. In the next step, we have to do care of developing ETL and ELT pipelines and ELT and ELT testing. So the pipeline and testing will be taken care of here. Next, we have to do the performance testing of the data warehouse. So in the fifth step, we will do these things. In the sixth step, that is a launch of the data warehouse. That will be we will start it from the second day. So from the second day, we have to do the data migration, data quality assessment. So that will be taken care of while we are going to launch that enterprise data warehouse. Next, we have to introduce the data warehouse to the business users. So that will be the launching, as well as we have to hand over that particular data warehouse, that project, to the business users. Next, we have to have the acceptance testing. What is the user acceptance testing is there. So we have to test that. Next, we have to conduct the user training sessions and workshops. So we have to train about that particular enterprise data warehouse to the users, the business users. So we have to give the trainings and sessions to them to understand about what is the functioning and what are the different important terminologies are there. Next, in the seventh step, we have to do the after launch support. So that will be the lifetime support, that if they request for that, so that we can extend that. So after launch support, they can have the ETL and ELT performance tuning. What is the we can say quarterly, we can say half yearly, we can say yearly maintenance is there. Performance tuning is there. Next, we have to adjust the data warehouse performance and availability. Next, we have to go for the supporting and what are the support can be there for the end users from the business users. So that will be taken care of in the seventh step of after launch support. So these were the few steps. These were the 7 steps while we are going to build a enterprise data warehouse in the that was the real time example of a small as well as the large we can say business users, but the levels, all the we can say steps will be same. So that was all about the today's topic. Thank you for watching.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.